Hello, this video is going to cover measuring and constructing segments. It's section 1-2 in the geometry textbook. So it's over measuring and constructing segments. So there's been a lot of questions on this section. So I'm going to just make a quick video on this. So we have different problems with that deal with the, make sure I get the word right, segment, the postulate that says you can take two pieces of a segment and combine them together. It's called the segment addition postulate, and it says basically if you have a segment, so let me write this down, segment addition postulate, show you this. So if I have a segment, goes from here to here, and maybe this is A, maybe this is B, and maybe this one's C. So there's A, B, C. This postulate says AB plus BC has to equal AC. So what it's saying is if you have two pieces that make up a whole, then of course the two other ones have to add up to that whole piece. And there's been a lot of questions on this, I think more with the problems that are associated with it. So let me go ahead and walk through a couple examples of how you're going to see this postulate. So let's say, for example, I'm so picky, I'm going to use my ruler. So let's say this is our line, and this is segment, let's go with, this is going to be A, oops, I bumped my camera. It's probably going to get blurry on us in here. So that's A, and this is S, and this is C. Maybe this section here is 2x plus 7. Maybe this section over here is 28. And the whole thing, AC, is equal to 4x. What will I do with that information? And it can ask me a variety of questions. The first thing I'm going to do is find x. That's going to be my first step because I have to find x in order to answer any of the questions they might present to you in this type of question. So first of all, you know this segment plus this segment has to equal this segment. So write that out. That is going to say that 2x plus 7 plus that 28 has to equal 4x. Then it's going to go into your skills of algebra and solving that equation 4x. You have two x terms, two numbers here on the same side. I would simplify the left side first. These are just numbers here, so you can add those together and combine those first. So 28 plus 7 is going to give us 35. So I have 2x plus 35 equals 4x. Then I want to combine those two x terms together. This is a positive 2x, so I'm actually going to subtract the 2x over to the other side. And you could have gone this way, but you would have been probably confused because you would have had a 0 in it, and that's kind of a weird way to go. You want x on one side, numbers on the other. So these are going to cancel, and you'd have 35 equals 2x. Okay, then I'm going to take 35 and divide it by 2. So divide by 2, and I get 17.5, or you could have write it as a fraction, 17 and 1/2. Or leave it 35 halves. It doesn't really matter to me. But this is how much x is. X is 75 or 17.5. Now I could ask you, what is AS? I could have said the length of AS. That almost spells a bad word. No giggling. It looks like I'm spelling bad words on my paper. So from here, take that 17.5 and put it back in. So you would have 2, we know AS is equal to 2x plus 7. So we're then going to substitute in our x to get 2 times, oops, I don't think I moved that up, 2 times 17.5 plus 7. Okay, so we're just going to substitute that in, and we just take 2 times 17.5, which is 35, plus our 7 is going to give us 42. So the length of AS, that segment, is 42. The length of the other section was 28, so then you can get the length of the whole thing if it asked you that as well. You could get the length of AC by adding 42 and 28. So there's lots of questions you could get asked that are similar to this. Now let's see if there was any other questions I wanted to show. I think that really covers, this idea covers all the problems. They just present them in a different way. So I think this should help a lot of you understand what this addition postulate of segments means. And do note that if you have, like, if they drew something for you, this is going to come up all the way through the class, so maybe they drew something like this for you. And they told you a little slash mark like this. This is just example 2 that I'm giving you. If they give you these little slash marks, that means congruent in measure or equal in measure, right? Congruent means equal measurement. So that's saying this side equals this side. So if I told you this side here is 2x minus 1, and I told you this side over here, or I asked what is that length, well, you'd be 2x minus 1, or maybe I'd say this side over here is 8. Well, then you know this one and this one have to equal each other, and you can solve things. So one thing you're going to find different from geometry versus algebra 1 that most of you took last year is you really are going to have to work towards rationalizing and thinking through what they're really saying about two things being added equal the whole, and be able to apply it throughout the section. Hopefully this video will help some of you be able to finish up section 1, 2.